The original Animal Crossing is a game that I hold very dear to my heart, and since I've been averaging over 5 hours a day in New Horizons, I figured it was time to compare one of my all-time favorite games to the game that is very quickly becoming my most played Switch game, as soon as I can pull myself away from it. Hillflowers. Since the slopes in New Horizons are basically only for allowing villagers to access different levels, there isn't really a way to implement this feature. I get that. In contrast, this flower-covered slope from my original town is much more appealing than some stairs or a stone-covered hill. You can change the background of your inventory. While this is basically limited to just swapping it for different shirts, that would be an insanely high amount of customization in New Horizons. Look at how much better it is than what we have now. Secret codes. Among Nook's various options, you can give him codes that allow you to pull basically any item to your town. This can include paintings, fossils, bells, and whatever else you could really want. The problem with this is that there's been a code generator floating around online forever, so I completely understand why Nintendo would just scrap this feature entirely. There are models for everything. These are typically special rewards, or in most players' cases, secret codes, for special events. Completing a museum, taking care of the lighthouse for a week, and so on. The models are the only legit way to see the backsides of any of these buildings, which means they serve more of a purpose than just as completion rewards. The little RVs from the Pocket Camp crossover are almost an homage to this, but it isn't the same as they don't show up anywhere else in New Horizons. Monthly raffle tickets. At the end of every month, Tom Nook would close the store so that you would instead need to use 5 of that month's raffle tickets to enter for a chance to win prizes. Technically, if you had enough tickets stockpiled, you could win all the prizes, but if you hadn't been playing in a while, you basically just lost your chance to buy anything. You actually get a prize for paying off your final loan. New Horizons' big prize for paying off your loan absolutely sucks in comparison to showing off this trophy at the town gate. While New Leaf and New Horizons went with the approach of Player 1 is an obviously better experience, the original didn't reveal how the first player to complete their loans would have a gold trophy to flaunt forever until right after you paid Nook. Second gets silver, third gets bronze, and fourth gets green! Okay, it's Jade. Honestly, I'd take this tiny Jade statue over infinite house remodels any day. It allows multiple letters to be sent in succession. Nintendo, please, I'm begging you. I know it makes it easier with the way mail is implemented, but the current way is so slow when you have to send multiple letters. Just let me connect to the internet one time and send to the 5 friends that need fossils. Villagers move out when you visit other towns. This is my most hated feature of the entire series. Thankfully I have multiple towns so I can show it off, but it doesn't make it a good feature. Technically, if you know which villager is trying to move, you can maybe pull it off so that they move to this other town and you can keep them on this secondary memory card. Or you could just have 2 of them leave your town. That's always a possibility. It's whatever the RNG decides on. I miss some of them so much. The dump. While technically New Horizons has a dump of sorts with the recycle bin, this was significantly better as there were more frequent items and they weren't just trash. Aerobics. During the spring and summer, you could wake up early, well, 9 AM, to participate with Copper and some of your villagers and obtain this little jukebox that plays the same music year-round so you can stretch to your heart's content. This specific animation right here, the look of utter confusion when you can't dig, is such a fantastic little detail and feels more expressive than what we have now. E-reader letters. Similar to the Amiibo cards, Nintendo released a ton of e-reader cards to use with the original game. Unlike Amiibo though, you can only use them to send letters to you. There was no way to get those villagers to join your town through the cards. Villagers sleeping outside. I've spent a lot of time playing the original game late at night, and I absolutely miss this feature due to that. Being able to interact with villagers past their bedtimes is a great way to boost their friendship, or, even better, leaving them outside forever because they angered you as a kid and have never left despite numerous attempts to force the matter. I will say, seeing villagers in their pajamas is at least a better compromise than legally requiring them to be awake longer like in New Leaf. Nook specifically has sales. This is something I'd honestly forgotten about until several villagers mentioned it while I was checking in on my town. The prices are slightly better than normal, but nothing in the original compares to the Crowns and later games, so it's not really worth waiting for a sale. It is, however, something that would be cool to have in New Horizons, since there's now so many variations of the same item. Tools showing when they are breaking. I've seen a lot of ideas for how New Horizons can improve by having a durability bar, but I honestly hate that idea. Tools showing their durability getting lower, like the axe in this game, accomplishes the same idea while keeping to the charm of Animal Crossing. Actual golden trees. In the original, along with being able to replant the bells from the golden spots, you could plant shovels. This would allow you to grow golden trees and then obtain the golden shovel. The Spirit of the Fountain. In the original, after 2 weeks of maintaining a perfect town rating, you could go to the Wishing Well and meet Farley. He would give you the golden axe and congratulate you for your efforts on maintaining such a wonderful town. Farley doesn't return after this game, but maybe New Horizons will give him some love, just like they gave Chu the Faraway Museum, apparently. It is only a short conversation to visit other towns. If you've tried to visit anyone in New Horizons, you'll know how annoying it is to deal with the multiple steps at the airport. However, in the original, that wasn't a thing. You were basically asked if you were ready to go, and that was it. The trade-off to this was the conversation between yourself and either Rover or Blanca, but at least you were already on your way at that point. Weird plant mechanics. There are several outcomes for planting trees. The weirdest of these is when they are forever stuck at half height because of where you place them. That can be near water or, even stranger, dirt. There's also these round flat bushes that you can't really do anything with except run through. Since this will probably be pointed out, trees not growing after you plant them in New Horizons is due to you maxing out the number of grown trees. Bell trees seem to be unaffected as far as I've seen, but this is not the same as the weirdness in the original. Various kickable sports balls. Nintendo, please, you have put all these round balls in the game and even a net for them, but I can only move them vertically. Why would you allow me to get this close to a long gone feature and then strike it down? The Faraway Museum analyzing fossils. There's exactly 0 reasons for Nintendo to bring this feature back, as canonically, Blathers learned how to analyze fossils from them. In the original, though, you had to send fossils to the Faraway Museum, and then wait to get them back in order to possibly give them to your museum. This meant that you had to have some slots in your mailbox in order to receive them. It was needlessly time-consuming, and the change since the GameCube is still welcome. Gyroid Housekeepers. Another outdated feature, but also one that I miss. These guys would allow you to save the game, leave a message for other players visiting your town, and allow you to sell a few items. They also do this little dance when you approach, and it's great. Lloyd is fine, but he only appears during construction, so it isn't the same as having a personal assistant. NES games. Obviously, this was before Nintendo realized how much money they could make off of selling the NES games, or attaching them to Nintendo Switch Online, so it won't be a returning feature. However, it would just be cool to have replicas to decorate the rooms with. The GBA Island. Another feature that definitely can't make a comeback, especially given the circumstances of, well, living on a deserted island. This one is really cool as it allows you to have a shared place to put things for all 4 people living in your town. Honestly, I'd just take Captain back. We have a dock, just let him be called there. The Pier at the Lake. It's pretty self-explanatory, but since New Horizons requires bridges to be rather specific, it is currently another feature that can't be done properly after almost 20 years. Bonus! The N and G cubes. Since these aren't exactly features, I figured I'd add them here as a bonus. These items were really cool, and seeing a Switch logo in a similar fashion would be awesome. Since there is supposed to be an Earth Day update, I had to make a preemptive change to my original lineup due to this video, apparently enough, releasing on Earth Day. To remedy that, here are the two features that had to be replaced. Gyro Leads. These are a series staple, and even with the logical reasoning being that a deserted island wouldn't have any dead spirits in which for these to inhabit, it is truly weird that they aren't in the game at all. In all fairness, Pocket Camp added them after a couple of updates, and that's fully what I'm expecting to happen here. Paintings! The fourth wing of the museum, a series staple, and New Horizons currently doesn't have them. I'll take dealing with Crazy Red and bringing fakes if it means we get these back. Thank you so much for watching. I know this is pretty far outside the normal content on the channel, especially given that I'm actually talking for it, but I felt it necessary to explain some of the differences in one of my favorite game series. It's been exactly 1 year since I started uploading to Stormwind Games, and with how addicted I am to New Horizons, I really wanted to find a way to mark the occasion with Animal Crossing. I just went a little overboard after making the decision. I know the channel made a lot of progress from some of my more popular Fire Emblem videos, and I am grateful that I have gotten over 500 subs at this point, but there isn't too much left in Three Houses for me to continue making content on. At least, not the content I want to be able to make. Due to that, my plan is just to continue doing daily uploads for as long as I can, and doing special videos like this, or Abyss Keeper, or Young Edelgard and Dimitri, whenever the opportunity arises. One more huge thank you for everyone that has stuck with me so far, and I will see you guys soon.